Hey, now we got a couple of days to talk Auburn and Vanderbilt. Tigers looking for a little momentum, a 2-game winning streak. What's that, baby? He is Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. This is Village Vice. Today's show is brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie can be your bookie, too. Go to mybookie.ag. Use promo code NEXTROUND. They'll double your initial deposit. So get on board if you haven't yet. Start having more fun with MyBookie.
Speaking of MyBookie, yes. Brad,
yes.
There's two sides of the Auburn fan base right now, and I love both of them dearly. Yeah. When you look at MyBookie, and Auburn's a 6.5-point favorite, almost a touchdown favorite, there are some folks who say, oh, take Auburn minus the points.
Yeah,
this is a double-digit win. I love all of that.
Sure.
There's also the folks of, there's no way, because Diego Pavia is better than Peyton Thorne, and there's just no way Auburn's got a shot against Vandy. I love them too. Sure, you love everybody. You're just full of love. You're like a Trump event at Madison Square Garden. It's just a love fest. Yeah, I mean that's what makes sports so fun. Even if it's your team, it's like, do you actually believe in them or not?
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of goes into what this season can be. I mean, as far as salvaging it, what a brutal start for the Auburn Tigers. But after beating Kentucky, and now Vanderbilt coming in, which Vegas thinks that Auburn's going to win. In fact, they're begging you to take Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
MyBookie is begging you to take Vanderbilt.
Yes, they are.
And that makes me feel better about the matchup. Whether that's legitimate or not, it doesn't matter. But when you talk about what's at stake is, okay, if Auburn can win 2 SEC games in a row,
yeah, you've
got hope again. ULM comes after that, and then you've got a chance to play 2 really good teams. One at home, Texas A&M, one on the road, Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, in the Iron Bowl, which seems more gettable now than it has been. And you've got a chance to, okay, if you win one of those 2 games, assuming you take care of business against Vandy and ULM, you go to a bowl game with all the momentum in the world. Yeah. And I just think if you win one of those 2 games, Brad, assuming you take care of business where you're supposed to, I think a lot of people will forget about the crap that happened at the start of the year.
Well, sure. There would be so much forward momentum. It would be like stumbling out of the gates, but finishing well. Like if you're in a race against 3 other people, you could still come in last. But if you stumbled at the end and you made great gains, and by the end of it, you were closer than when you stumbled, then yeah, there's momentum there. There's reason to think that it's going to be better in the future. And I think absolutely all of that is gettable. Look, Vanderbilt is a team that gave up 322 yards to Kentucky. They gave up 400 yards in each of their other 2 road games. They haven't been quite as formidable away from Nashville as they have been in the madhouse that is Memorial Stadium. So it's there, and you got to take one at a time for sure. But I thought that with every loss, it magnified the importance of the next game. I think the next game is magnified even more because Auburn won Saturday. This is the most compelling Vanderbilt game we've seen in, 30, 40 years at least, maybe longer than that.
Maybe ever.
Yeah, maybe the most compelling Auburn-Vanderbilt game ever, because to go into the bye week with a 2-game winning streak and another gettable game against ULM coming out of it, yep, everything you want. You know what it was? It would set up what you had last year before New Mexico State came in. Think about all the momentum Auburn carried into the New Mexico State game last year. They'd won 3 games in a row. Mississippi State, Arkansas, Vanderbilt. You were riding high. You're talking about a possible 7 or 8 win team before the Iron Bowl came around.
Right.
So you have the opportunity to do that again, but only if you beat Vanderbilt Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, this is an oddly important game, and not even for the goal of going to a bowl game at this point of the season. I think it's okay. There's pressure on you. Can you respond? And I think these young guys love it. I think these young guys love the pressure. I think they're thriving in it. We kind of saw a microcosm of the young guys loving that attention and pressure in the goal to go situation where ended up on a pick by Kay and Lee on 4th and goal. I want to see the older guys step up, and it's the older guys that should be ticked off about this because of what Diego Pavia did to them a year ago. To me, that's what I'm looking at.
It's an older guy's game, I think, just as much as it's a younger guy's game this Saturday for exactly that reason, Zach. And we had Coach Freeze on Tiger Talk last night on the Auburn Sports Network, and he said, he mentioned this in his presser too, but I asked him about it on the show. He said, they're not going to talk about New Mexico State all that much with the guys because it's not the same team. They're not playing New Mexico State. And they beat Vandy last year, and a lot of the players are different. It's like an amalgamation of New Mexico State and Vanderbilt together, but it's this new creation. And a lot of their guys, and so many of their guys are new. So many of their defensive guys didn't play against him a year ago. But the ones that did, have to remember that. And you've got to think that they want to send a message very early in this game Saturday that what happened last year cannot happen again this season.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like from the outside looking in, and people that we've talked to, I mean, it sounds like one of the most vocal leaders on the team is Eugene Asante. I don't think it's a crazy take at all.
No.
He played against Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
The guy that a lot of these young DBs are looking up to, Keontae Scott, he played against Diego Pavia a year ago. A lot of the leaders on this defensive line room, Keldrick Falk, Jason Jones, Zacchaeus Walker, J-Mac, they all played against him a year ago, and he embarrassed them. Diego Pavia embarrassed every player on Auburn's defense. I mean, and they couldn't do anything about it, Brad. There's no way, like, I believe Freeze, where it's like they're not going to talk about it. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. The players are talking about it, or if they're not talking about it, they all know. It doesn't need to be said. The goal is clear, and they're going to do everything they can to stop this guy. And Brad, I think they're going to. I think they're going to stop him. And I think this is going to be a fun Saturday for Auburn fans.
Diego Pavia, 19 for 28, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 8 carries, 35 yards. That's what he did to Auburn a year ago with New Mexico State.
Right.
And again, it's got to be mission number one defensively. Mission number one offensively is stay on the field. Stay on the field. 33 minutes at least time of possession. You need to win this game.
It's a good goal. I like that.
We said last week Kentucky was like first to 20 will win the game. Turns out they didn't need 20, but they got to 24. I think 33 minutes time of possession should be your target to win this game. I don't think quick strike offense is going to be the thing. I think it's methodical drives and staying on the field.
Yeah, and even if it's close, even if it's 30 minutes, like that's not how Vandy has been winning football games. Like that's not how they beat Alabama. I don't know what the time of possession balance was against Texas, but they kept it close against Texas. But a lot of that had to do with them forcing turnovers. And so to me, I think that's more about Auburn taking care of the football, which is how you stay on the field longer, to your point. So I agree with that. I like that number, 33 minutes. I like it a lot. And we'll see if they win the time of possession battle, Brad.
I'm looking up time of possession right now. It was 31 minutes for Texas and 29 minutes for Vanderbilt. That's not what I thought. I thought Vandy would have had a slight edge in that department.
I mean, the turnovers. I would think the turnovers had a lot to do with. Well, wait, Texas had more time.
Texas had more time.
Huh?
They had even turnovers too. Both teams had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's right.
No fumbles.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, we'll see exactly what Auburn can do with that. But I like that observation and prediction a ton. You know what else I like? Rowback.com. Their catalog is insane. It's insane with all of the hoodies and all of the pullovers and the quarter zips and the collared shirts and the hats and the shorts and the pants. They've got everything at rowback.com. It all looks amazing. It all feels amazing. It all is amazing. And we don't want you to pay full price.
Nope.
We don't want you to. We're going to give you 20% off. All you have to do is use promo code VICE20 to get 20% at checkout. Also supports the show. We're not going to hide that at all from you. In fact, a lot of the times the default code is already added. You've got to remove the default code that's the site-wide promotion. Take it out. Say, no thanks, Rowback. No thanks. I want 20% off. Not 10 or 15. No. I want 20% off, and I want to support our boys at Village Vice. So use promo code VICE20 for 20% off over at rowback.com.
There you go. I'm going to do, they're going to start Christmas stuff. I've already seen Christmas commercials, which is preposterous It's not
Here's
even
what I want to
Halloween
know.
yet.
Here's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And also, as I get older, I'm more okay with Christmas stuff coming out early, by the way.
Okay. Not this early.
Not that you asked, but
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at with it.
Okay.
The where's the black shirt today? Where's black t-shirt Brad
I'm not
Long?
gonna wear it 3 shows in a row, Zach.
I think you should.
The numbers for our last 2 shows have not been as good with the black shirt. So I'm just trying to, I'm always, you know what? I'm always field testing the audience. You know?
Okay. All right.
I'm always field testing the audience, always researching. I'm a very data analytics driven man, Zach.
Yeah. Yep. I love that about you.
Yes, thank you. So we're going with the more professional, the button up, the dress shirt today.
That's fine. Whatever.
So, all right. Can I do another quick aside?
As long as it's backed by data, you can do whatever you want.
Who's the Heisman Trophy winner at this point? Do you care? Like, do these discussions about the Heisman Trophy at the end of October bother you, or are you cool with them?
I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. It's the best award in sports. I absolutely love it.
All right.
The thing that's interesting is, like, normally the Heisman winner at this time should be somewhat polarizing.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm glad that GNT has kind of dropped out a little bit of it, because the Heisman Trophy winner can't play back-to-back games on Friday night. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's
It's silly.
ridiculous to me.
He didn't have a bad game against UNLV either.
No, but nobody saw it. Nobody cares.
It was 9:30. Yeah, it was 10:30.
9:30 Central Time. Yeah, 10:30 from the East Coast, which is where a lot of the voters are. So yeah, that's absurd to me. And they've got them playing Friday night this week, I believe. They play like Colorado State or somebody. I think it's a Friday night game. So
I'm not sure. I know somebody I could ask about Boise's schedule, but I don't know Boise's schedule.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking about?
No, you know my Boise connection. My guy who likes to DM me on X.
Oh, we're doing that. Got it.
I haven't talked to him in a long time though.
Sure. Clearly supports the show though, which is good.
Clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it's him. I mean, right now, if I had a ballot, I would probably put Cam Ward at 1, and then I'd put Travis Hunter at 2. And then Cade Klubnik is like 5th in Heisman odds, I think, but I would probably put him at 3 right now. Cade Klubnik has been awesome this year. They just got blown out by Georgia in week 1, and so everybody quit paying attention to him.
They sure did, and they wrote off Clemson quickly. It's the danger of traditional media. It's this team gets blown out in week 1 and the whole thing is falling apart. Dabo can't coach. Dabo can't recruit. His program is a mess. He's an old, he's from a bygone era. Yeah, they've been real good since then. I think Travis Hunter is my guy right now, and I don't think it's all that close, Zach.
I'm totally okay with that. Okay with that.
Now, can he hold up? I'm not doubting it. I'm just asking the question: can he hold up through the month of November? They're 6-2, and he's played both ways. And I don't care I don't care what coaches you like and don't like and all that. But for a guy to play significantly both ways on a team, I don't think it's got to be the best player on the best team. I don't think it's got to be a quarterback on the best team. I don't always think the quarterback is the best player on a team either. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of this is popularity contest, which is why Travis Hunter has a chance, and he's the best player. Like, you can make a case for him being the best player in college football,
right? But
you've got to be on a team that's relevant. Sadly, like, unless you're RG3, you have to be on a team that's relevant.
Sure. And
I think RG3 and Baylor played in the Alamo Bowl that year. Like, that's just such an outlier. It's insane. Yeah. But Colorado's schedule.
LSU's record last year.
Oh, that's a good one with Jaden. That's a good point too. Yeah. They still went like 8-4 though, right?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. They weren't 4-8. They were relevant.
So Colorado's schedule the rest of the way at Texas Tech, versus Utah, at Kansas. They host Oklahoma State.
They could go 9-3.
I think they go 10-2, and then they're at home watching the Big 12 championship game. And then the committee will have an opportunity to put Colorado in the college football playoff. They'll have the opportunity to do it. And we've seen them prefer bigger, more interesting, compelling brands and storylines when it comes down to it. And that's when it was 4 teams. You definitely want to do it when it's 12 teams. And you can have different opinions on, Colorado and Dion and all of that. But I just think if they have a chance to put them in the postseason, I think they're going to do it.
Oh,
and
it's going to
be. Oh, it's gold. It's good for college football. It's good for college football if they go 10-2 and they give them the 12 seed.
It's not just ratings gold, it's ratings black and gold because Colorado's black and gold.
You nailed that. That was so good.
All right, let me give you another theoretical question for you.
Be better if you're wearing your black T-shirt.
That's fair. That's right. Does Texas A&M over under number of losses they finished the regular season with before the SEC championship game? 1.5. Do they lose again before the regular season ends?
Oh, okay. So do they go 11-1 or 10-2? Is what you're asking?
That's or worse. I mean, could they could lose to both Auburn and Texas and go 9-3?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they beat Texas. So I would take
the over.
Bet. I would take the over then. Yeah. Yeah. And look, they're a 2.5-point favorite on the road to South Carolina.
Yeah, that's a dangerous game. We'll get into that on the 6-pack on Halloween Day.
Yeah, that's super tricky. And then also, I mean, the more I think, like, I don't love Auburn's matchup with them. They're a really physical team, and they make them push us around a little bit. We'll see how the team develops until then, but I think Auburn's got a shot in that game. They've certainly got a shot against A&M.
Yeah, that's the Auburn game for them is after the New Mexico State game for them, which is after a bye week. But for Auburn, it's bye week and then ULM and then Texas A&M. So both teams ought to be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, they're gonna. Both of those teams are gonna be so well scouted. Yeah.
Who does Texas? Do you think Texas A&M plays then in the SEC championship?
Yeah, I mean they'll lose to Texas and still play in the SEC championship.
Who do they play in the SEC championship? These are the end of October predictions.
I don't know.
Okay,
let me look at it again real quick.
Okay,
who do you think plays in the SEC championship?
Georgia. I think Georgia and Texas A&M. They're probably on a collision course.
Georgia makes sense. Their one SEC loss is Bama.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of the way, they have Florida, Ole Miss in Oxford. They have Tennessee in Athens.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Who has the tie? Like, who would have the tiebreaker between Georgia and Texas? Do you know?
Well, I mean, it'd be Georgia. Georgia beat Texas head to head.
Oh, right. So yeah, I would say Georgia.
Yeah. It's based only on that. Is why I say that. But I think Texas A&M loses again. I think Texas A&M beats Texas to close the regular season. I think if they're going to lose again, it's going to be Auburn here or South Carolina.
The bug is so strong with you.
It is. It's a lot of hope. A lot of hope from one game. You know, look, I posted on X after the game. Sometimes it only takes one. I've been saying for a month, it only takes one.
Yeah, I mean, you see for something to catch fire, you only need a spark. And it does kind of feel like what happened on Saturday was a spark. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Go check out thebarnauburn.com right now. First month is just $1. We're apparently not doing that promotion for much longer, I was told. So head over to thebarnauburn.com right now. Go ahead and check it out. Right in time for, the portal season's about to heat up, as well as early signing day and basketball. So yeah, thebarnauburn.com. Go check it out.
Let me ask you this as we get ready to go into November. We got young guys there on the side. Which freshman is Auburn's defensive MVP only in the month of November? Forget any, you understand? Like, not cumulative, but in these 4 games Auburn will play in the month of November. Who will it be?
It's easy. This is a no-brainer for me.
No-brainer.
It's Jay Crawford.
Okay. Boy, you're high. You're so high on Jay. Now, he's the National Freshman of the Week, and I understand.
Oh, my gosh, though. But he's been so good.
Yeah.
He's been exceptional.
Yeah.
He's playing like a number one corner as like an 18-year-old. I mean, that's insane. You don't really see that a whole lot. So, yeah, I would say Jay Crawford. Would you say somebody else?
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. I'd probably say Jay or Caleb Harris.
Caleb Harris is so steady.
Yeah.
He's so steady. Like, I mean, his highs are solid, but like he's just always around. And they do so many different things with him. Jay Crawford just plays a position that I think can bring more of an impact.
Yeah.
Good or bad. I mean, that's just kind of the way corners are. So that's why I went with Jay Crawford. Yeah, I mean, I think Caleb Harris would be second.
Yeah.
And then I would say DeMarcus Riddick is third.
Mm-hmm.
And then Malik Blockton. Am I forgetting somebody?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that's, do we see more Morris Williams
Hope so.
In the month of November, you could see him a little bit. Keyron's not a freshman, or else he'd be on. But to that point though, you're now at the point of the season where those plants are starting to like push through the dirt. They've been planting their roots for a long time. Now they're pushing through the dirt, and you can start to see some fruit develop.
Right.
And I think November is the time for that. Thanks everybody for liking the video, for subscribing to the channel. Get those notifications every time we have a new episode for you. And remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.